other people's channels doing the same thing? Yeah, I've left the banner up on purpose, Moira. I've decided to try and remember to put it up so it stays there until I go over to my desk, and then it needs to come down so you can see what I'm doing. So the reason I want it there is so that if you want to reach out to me, that is how you do it. You go to my blog, which is, or website, which is lookwatimade.com.au, and that's where you can go shopping if there's any products that you're after. You can join my team if you wanted to do that, and you can also sign up for my newsletter. So those are the three things that you can do over there on my lookwatimade.com.au website. Okay, so so that's what that's all about. Is there anyone else who we don't know who they are? So yes, Roz is Wolfpack. Some people, it has their names. I see you managed to change yours, Cherie. Interesting. Is there anybody else that we don't recognise that we need to say hello to? Now, Trudy, you haven't got an at in front. Oh, because you're on Facebook. You're on Facebook. There you go. All right. So the people on Facebook don't have the ats. It's only the people who are on YouTube. Interesting. Okay. So we have, it's sketch night, which means we're going to be tackling another sketch. And I've just got a very vague idea of what I think I might be going to do. I picked out a paper pack for us to play with. And then after that, maybe I'll show you something new. Actually, let's go over to the desk. I'll get rid of the banner. Let's get rid of that. And then let's go over to the desk. And I'm going to turn my lamp on so we get better. There we go. That's better, isn't it? All right. So we're on page 14. And last week we did this one. We did the baby boy card last Friday night, remember? And the next one here has some little bows. And I first looked at this and went, I don't want to tie bows. So I don't think I want to do that. And let's get it closer so you can see it. Can you see? It's this one here with the three bows, and there's a greeting in the middle. So I came up with an idea that I think will work for this. And let me go back to comments so I can see those. Making sure. Oh, I wouldn't think it'd be anything to do with that, Denise. So that's interesting, isn't it? It's just, there's a whole bunch of I haven't done anything different, and I'm wondering if it's something to do with maybe my software, which is called StreamYard. Maybe it's to do with how StreamYard talks to YouTube. I don't know. It's very odd to me. I don't understand it. So I'm just coming over here, and let me make sure that I've got everything set up correctly. All right. Okay, so all right, this is the one I'm going to do. And you can see this is actually a tag. Can you see that? So there was some cards. There was 5 cards here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tags, okay, which you can also turn into cards. And that's what I'm planning on doing tonight. I'm not going to make a tag. I'm going to make a card. Maybe one week I'll do a tag. And then there's 5 scrapbook layouts down here, okay, which is some great ideas. This one here, the one with the diagonal piece and the four squares, or 3 squares and a circle. This is actually the one of the designs. I recognize it from the Peaceful Days scrapbooking kit. Actually, I have that right here. Let me just show you. It's right behind me. It's let's see. It's this one here. Can you see it? Let me just make sure you're able to see that. Can you see this one? So you've got the diagonal piece. You've got 3 square photos, and then they've got a circle here in this piece. That is actually that sketch. All right. So it's a good example of how you might use that. The channel also in info insists on keeping the @ sign. I know, right? Isn't that weird? It's just weird. I don't understand. Not yet, no. I haven't done the sketches from World Card Making Day, but I would like to. And actually, next week, I need to have my submission for this month's tutorial bundle, which comes out at the beginning of every month. But we have to have it to the girl who puts them all together. We have to have it to her by the 21st. And so I have to have that to her by next week. and it's sketches this time. So she's given us a whole page of sketches. Some of these ones are actually featured, like they're Stampin' Up! Sketches, and we just got to pick one and go with it. So, oh, you've made them, Monique. That's cool. So Stampin' Stamper is Monique, for anyone who's wondering. If there's anyone else who doesn't go by their name. Hey, Leanne, nice to see you. All right, so this is the one we're going to do. And I was thinking how big this should be. I'm actually going to put this on a square, sorry, on a rectangle. What am I saying? And I picked one of the rectangles from the textured notes dies. These are some of my favorite, and I've got some of them here. Let me show you these. If you don't have this die set, I think these are brilliant. All right, they all fit nicely inside each other. And even though I've got a magnet sheet behind them, because they've all warped a little bit over time, because I use them so constantly, they don't sit very well on the magnet. I actually need probably a better magnet strip for them. And there are 8, I think. Is that right? Yep, 8. So there's one more. I'm missing one. Here it is. That one there. All right, and I use these a lot. They're probably the second most used set after the stylish shapes. These are my next most used set. I also use the everyday arches quite a bit. There's some really, really lovely, oh, hey, Susan, nice to see you. There's some really lovely things you can do with these, and anything that is what I call nested dies. So when, a die fits inside the next one, fits inside the next one, and so on, those are nested dies. And you can do so many things with nested dies. They're very, very handy. So I've just done this one, which is the 3rd largest, and I thought this might do well for this tag shape. So let's see if it's going to work for what I want. And I thought, let's do bows, but not tie bows. Okay, so I've got a couple of suggestions. We have a couple of different die sets. One on the floor that have bows in them. Okay, we have had various things at different times that have bows. So this one has a bow. This is the Christmas greenery set, and you can see it does this bow shape, and we could do that. Now it actually cuts out 3 pieces: the loops of the bow, the tails, and this little square here is the center of the bow. So it's not actually as tall as this, because the tails would move up onto the top or underneath the bow loops. So that could work, but it looks like it might be a little bit big. So we do have another option that is a bit smaller, and that is in the gingerbread men die. So this is the gingerbread man dies, and you can see there's lots and lots in here. And look, this is actually meant to be like a bow tie for him. And I thought this one might do better. Okay, so that actually would work better. All right, so I'm thinking that might be the go. And for the paper that I want to use is actually the paper that's over here on this side. This is the Christmas Tags and More set. There's also little bows in here as well. See, there's some green bows that are die cut, and you could just push those out and use them. So that would really work. You keep those 2 sets of dies on your desk all the time. I know exactly what you mean, Margaret. I actually have in my die box, I keep the stylish shapes and now the textured notes at the front of the die box all the time. So I just find, all the others are in alphabetical order, but those 2, I keep them at the very front, because I think I reach for them so often. So there we go. So there's a possibility there. And then we have to decide, what are we going to do with these? Now I've got some paper here. And if we need more than what I have in there, I've got a brand new pack as well. So this is the Christmas Tags and More. This is actually specialty paper, but it's still only $21.75. I actually thought, being specialty paper, they might make it a little bit more pricey, but they didn't. They kept the price the same for 6x6 paper. And you can see we've got I'm just deciding what I want to cut my bow out of. Or maybe I do it in a solid color, and we could have, well, that would look nice. This is meant to be, I think it's meant to be like mistletoe. Do you think that? That would look lovely, wouldn't it? Let's do that. Well, let's stick with a green and white theme. What do you think? Should we make our bows all the same color, or should I go with different colored ones? Just having a look to see if there's any. I think I've used up the bows that are in here because they're really nice, but I think I might have used them up. Yeah, I have. So yeah, there's some different ideas. Oh, hey Bev, nice to see you. I'm just having a little look. You're always welcome here, Bev. Doesn't matter. There's no such thing as too late. Okay, we all just come in here when we come in here. It doesn't matter. And you can always watch the replay anyway if you really want to. All right, so I'm going to make this 9.5 centimeters. I'm going to go with the green theme by 13.8. And then behind that, I have actually got a piece of garden green here. Let me see how that looks. So this will be 10 centimeters. So it's half a centimeter bigger on each side, so 14.3. So this would be if you were doing US sizing, this would be 5.25 by 10 is what this would be. Have I got that right? I hope I have. Oh, sorry, by 4, not by 10. 10 centimeters is 4 inches. Sorry, getting myself confused between metric and imperial. Red bows. Okay, everyone's saying red or gold. Okay, let's do it. So I'm just going to put this straight down here. So we're turning this tag design into a card tonight. And why not? We can do whatever we want because it's ours, right? It's our card and we'll change it if we want to. Which reminds me of what was the song? It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. There we go. That's pretty good, looking like that. And then this is going to go in the center. And we're going to do, so you guys are thinking red or gold for the bows. Which way will we go? Let me try red. Let's see how that's going to look. I'll just grab a red scrap. Okay, so I think the red would look rather nice. Be rather good, wouldn't it? Oh, Sheila's saying gold. We've got a few. There's a bit of contention. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up, girls. Really appreciate that. All right, let me cut a couple of red bows. So we do have some nice little bows in a couple of different die sets at the moment, which they're just begging to be used. Now on the tag, they have 3. I don't know yet whether we're going to fit 3 or not because we also need somewhere to put a greeting. So I'm still deciding on whether we want to have 3. But we'll see what they look like. All right, so I've got 2 at the moment, and then we'll see if we need a third one. All right, so remember I said it's got 3 pieces. All right, so the 3 pieces are the loops, then we have the tail, and that will come out from behind. So can you see how it gets a little smaller? We might be able to use 3, I think. We'll see. So I'm going to use glue dots to put this together. Let's see. So I'm going to put a glue dot right there in the behind the center of the bow. And that's going to go straight on top of the tail so they poke out there, out the bottom. All right. And then this little tiny, you can use a dot of Tombow if you prefer, or you can use a glue dot again. Having a look to see what I got here. And there you go. That's so cute. Isn't that a cute little bow? Look how cute that is. We love that. Oh, 2 red and 1 gold. You're hedging your bets there, Leanne. All right. So, yeah, we are going to have enough for. So let's do. Well, if I was going to do the sketch has 2 at the top and then a greeting and then 1 at the bottom. All right. So if I was going to do 1 at the bottom, I probably should put those 2 on first and then work out. This is going to be another one here, and then we'll have room for a long greeting across the middle. All right, so let me put the little bow together. Let's see. Oh, you love the bow, Lynn. I'm glad. The nice thing about some of these die sets, both the ones I've just showed you, is that you don't have to use them for the purpose that they have been designed. Like you don't have to use it for a gingerbread man. It could be a bow tie for a gingerbread man, but can also be bows on any card, right? So as you can see, we're using them completely independent of the gingerbread man. All right, so I've got one here and one here. Do you know, the more I look at this, the more I think they all need to be the same color. I think they all need to be red. If I'd done a gold, I think if I'd started doing them in gold, I would feel that they all had to be gold. But in this case, they're all going to be red. Sorry about that. I know we had a couple of people who liked the gold, but that's what we're doing. Now I notice that when I put these through, quite often, because it's little, quite often the red square stays in the die and then you just have to pop it out after, like that. So just bear that in mind. If you can't find the red square when you've done your die cutting, it's probably still stuck in the die. Either, well, you know what? Because there's three, either they would have to be all different colors or all the same color, not half and half, if that makes sense. So we could have done a red one, a gold one, and a, I don't know, what other color? A green one, I guess. And that would have looked nice too. Right, we are now more than halfway through October. Can you believe it? And I want to draw your attention to the fact that right now, until the end of October, we have a fantastic joining special. All right. And I need to tell you about this because I personally think this is an amazing deal and I would love to have some more people join my team. We've had quite a lot of people join the team since the beginning of the month, not just with me, but with other team members. In fact, we are more than 20 extra people this time, and I'm so happy to see the team growing and new people popping into the group, and it's just a beautiful community. It's lovely. Does Lynn, the die is from the gingerbread man. It's from this one. That's where it came from, right there. So super, super cute. All right. But there is also, if you have the Christmas greenery set, there's one in that one too, but it's a bigger bow. It wouldn't, the three probably wouldn't have fitted on this particular, see the bow there? So it's a bigger one. But we've got a couple of sets at the moment that have got dies. All right, I'm going to put a mini dimensional or a couple of mini dimensionals behind these. Let me grab my minis. And what I like to do when I'm putting together something like this is to actually use the dimensionals over the joins, which just helps it become that little bit extra sturdy. So like it's an extra way. Now it's not just the glue dots holding it together, but the dimensionals as well. So I find that that's quite a handy thing. So I'm going to start with the top one. I'm going to bring it down a little bit, make sure that I'm happy with the placement. Not going to push it too hard in case I decide I want to move it. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to put it over those joints or where the two parts of the bow intersect. And we'll take that off there. And I'm having, however far from the top this is, I'm having the bottom is around the same distance. All right, so this one is now going to go here. And then we've got room in the middle for another another piece, which is the banner for the greeting. And like I said, I'm just going to not push this down too hard in case I decide that I want to move it later. All right. And when I've done this, I'm going to show you a couple of things. I've been starting to play with some of our new products. And that's one of the cool things about joining right now. If you are joining right now, you can actually get yourself some new products, okay, in your kit. You don't have to wait until next month. You're allowed to order them in your kit. And so I'm going to show you what some of them are. Right, I'm going to put a greeting in the middle. Now, I've got a few options for a banner. I mean, I've got this one. That would work. We could put something straight across there. The one that's in the sketch on page 14 is just like a rectangular banner, and it sits inside, whereas this is a bit wider. Doesn't really matter. I mean, we could probably get away with this one too. That would work. So there's that. But let me show you a brand new product, which I've just realized I haven't even put it away yet. So it's not in the drawer where all the other punches are. Let me see if it is here. And if it's not easy for me to find, then we're not going to do that tonight. But I was going to show you a cool new punch we have, which is called, is it called the Banner Punch? I think it's called the Banner Punch. We might not be able to do that because it might not be where I thought it was. I thought I put it away in my drawer. Oh, here it is. It is sitting right near where my desk. It cuts out 3 banners. Let's take the wrapping off. So, like I said, I haven't even used this yet. And hopefully you can see it cuts 3 little banners, one with the 2 flags on each end and one with like one's got a concave shape on the end there, the flag, and the other one's gone convex. It's the opposite one. So you've got a few little, so this is kind of fun. And this is something we could use for this if we wanted to. So let me see. Have I got a piece of basic white? I do. And just to show you how it works, it's really fabulous because if you need to quickly cut some banners, look at that. All right, so we've got our 3 banners instantaneously. So that would be another option to go in here. The only thing is, white on white it's not going to stand out very much, is it? Although I will lift it up on dimensionals and I could also edge it and that would make it stand out a little bit more. So there's a couple of options there. All right, what greeting would we want to have on this though? I'm just looking at my greetings. I didn't think that through before I started, but that's okay. We do have some nice greetings. And I'm just thinking, have we got anything small? I don't have a lot of small Christmas greetings. Like I've got to you and yours, but it's not straight. It's actually curvy. Can you see that? And the greetings, that's also curvy. These ones are curvy because they actually are meant to go on to like a banner that is curvy that matches these in the traditional labels. What do you guys think? 'Tis the season. All right. Well, if I'm going to do 'tis the season, and I can, I'll need the longer banner. And that's fine. I can do that. So let me pull this out of the way here. And I'm going to pop that on a block. With just a tip for you, if you haven't heard me say this before, when you want to put a long, thin greeting on a block like this, don't put it on the block yourself because it's actually really easy, even just that doing it then. Can you see how it's got a bit of a curve to it? It's very easy to not get it on straight. Instead, what you want to do is put it down so it finds its true shape sitting naturally and then pick it up with the block. Okay, so don't, for a long, thin greeting, don't put it on the block. The photopolymer will bend really, really easily and it won't be straight. Instead, put it down so it sits straight, and then pick it up with the block. So that's just a little tip for you. All right, now I'm thinking, will I go red or will I go green for my, what do you think? Red or green ink for our sentiment? I'm going to, while I put this back in the thing, you guys can all vote and tell me which one that you want to have. You're welcome, Nairi. Yeah, you should definitely with a long skinny stamp, because a lot of people get really disappointed when they stamp a long thin stamp and realize it's crooked, and they didn't realize that. Can you shorten the textured noted die? Yes, I can. I can. We could do that. So this one here, it actually doesn't, it's nearly as long as this stamp. So it's actually almost the right size. But the question is, do we want to do red or green? Okay, I've got people saying green. Green. I've got a few reds, but more greens than reds. And we do have a vote for gold. Of course we do, Sheila. And I would have to emboss for that, but that's okay. It could be done. Gold, gold. So do we want to emboss it in gold, or do we just want to stamp in green? The green is going to be quicker and easier, and the gold is going to take us a bit more time. Okay, more greens. Okay, I'm going to go with green because that's getting all the votes, all the love. All right, so I'm going to use garden green, which is the same green that's in this lovely paper in the background there. And I'm going to stamp it right there. Isn't that a nice greeting? 'Tis the season. Nice and clean and clear. Okay, then we have our die. Let's see, we could cut it down, but I don't know that we need to very much because it's almost the right size. There's only a little bit of a gap at each end. So I'm actually going to cut that out. So give me a moment while I do that. And it won't matter that it goes over the edges. And it's going to make a bit of a clunky noise when I put it through the cut and emboss machine. All right. That looks rather good, don't you think? We like that. All right. I'm going to put that on dimensionals. And actually, I'm going to put this panel on first. So I'm going to add some dimensionals behind there. So 1, 2. So yeah, when I first looked at this and I thought, oh gosh, I don't want to tie all those bows. I mean, I don't mind tying bows, but you know, on a video, it's just a little bit fiddly. And I'm like, do I really feel like doing that? And I thought, hang on a second, I've got some really nice bow dies. Maybe one of those would work. All right, let's get that lined up right there in the center. Okay, looking good. And then this one also is going to go on dimensionals. Now, because this is a long, thin one, I quite often use these edge bits for that. Another tip, you don't have to wait to use up all your dimensionals. We can just stick a nice, long, skinny piece behind that. Up to you, of course. You can just use one on each end if you prefer. Let's throw that off there. And then we're going to need some bling, guys. So the question is, what bling do we want? Oh, did I get that straight? Now, one thing you can do, use your glass mat, or if you're using grid paper, same deal, and make sure that this starts and finishes at the same, and it's ever so slightly not right. So I'm going to have it, that's better. Yep, that's better. All right, and then I'm going to use a, I'm just thinking, do I have any basic white thick? actually, do we want white as the card base or do we want basic beige? Because that might look really nice. So let's have a look. There is basic beige in the paper that this set, although I don't know that, is there any in that? I don't know that there's any. Oh, you know what else would look nice? Soft seafoam, because there's also soft seafoam in here. So I could go white, but I don't think so. Either basic beige or soft seafoam. One of those. What do you guys think? I'm a little low on soft seafoam at the moment, only because I gave away the soft seafoam that I had because of the prizes that I was doing last month when I did the prizes for my envelopes. Here we go. In my scrap drawer though, scrap drawer to the rescue. So let's put that down. And yeah, I need to just cut that. It's a little bit long. That's what happens when you pull it out of the scrap drawer, right? And do you think we need bling? I think we do. I'm just having a look. Well, you know there's inches at the top, right? So we have inches at the top and centimeters down the bottom, and inches down the side and centimeters down the left side. So it does both. So hey Nicole, nice to see you there. Come on, out you come, Tombo. I've just bought a whole bunch more Tombo this week because I realized I was getting low. And then we need to decide on our bling and our card will be done. Right. A rhinestone at each end of the sentiment. Yeah, we could do that. Definitely. That would work. What are the lines? Oh, you mean the dotted lines? Is that because some lines are dotted and some lines are, so for the dotted lines, it's at every 5 centimeter increments. Okay. And my understanding is, unless I'm wrong, I think the US glass mat has it the other way around. So it would be 2-inch increments for the dotted lines. And they've got their centimeters at the, I think they have their inches at the bottom, whereas we only have the inches at the top. The grid is the inches or centimeters? The grid is more in centimeters. I see what you're saying. But I think, Roz, do you know? Do you know if the grid lines are 2 inches apart for the dotted lines? Do you have one of these? Monique says she uses inches and imperial as well. All right, I'm going to grab my, well, we've got a few choices. I've got some rhinestones, so I can do rhinestones, and that's always a good choice. Rhinestones are easy and they go with everything. We've also got these little guys, and I could do some gold metallic gems or silver. Those both look good. What else have we got? We've got some gold iridescent foil gems. They've got like gold foiling inside. Those are nice. I have lots of options actually. These are nice too. These are the ones, the sparkling dots. Right now these I did tell somebody this the other day, and I think you might have heard me say we're picking on poor Leslie. Cherie and I said that I did a Leslie, which means we bought lots and lots and lots of these. I actually bought it for my retreat, which is at the end of this month for my team. And yeah. And actually, interestingly enough, when the order came, the dots did not ship. So I've paid for them, but I'm getting a shipment of those next week. So I hope they arrive in time for me to send them out. And these ones also are white with gold foil inside as well. There's some lovely options, very nice options. I like the sparkly sequins, and there's gold and there's red that would look good. The green's the wrong green, but and of course not the blue, but the gold and the red would both look good on here. Interesting. The Christmas ones. You mean these? I would call these Christmas. I know. I win, Leslie. I'm up to. I don't normally order that many packs of something. It's just that I needed them for my people coming to the retreat. So, all right. I'm thinking we'll go with the sequins. Let's do it. And do we want them on either end um of the banner, or do we want them elsewhere on the card? That is the question. Do I want to go? I think maybe I'll go with or like a contrasting color, so not the red. And I think I'm going to go with the small ones. I'm going to use. Actually, I'm just going to use I could use my take your pick tool for this as well, but just this one's handy, so that looks nice. Jodie's not here to tell us what we should be using. All right, there we go. I'm going to call that a finished card. Oh, on banner and elsewhere, Dimity. I think that's maybe enough for me. You can take it. I know. You have strong shoulders. 2 on the banner and then the other 3 on the bows. Ooh, we could add them to the bows. Would that be too many though? Sometimes less is more, right? Sometimes. I'm going to call that done. I can always come back and add more if I change my mind. But for now, I'm going to say that's done. Would you like to see something new? So I've shown you a couple of things. I've showed you this new, and I'm going to show you something else new. And it's those girls who've been on my VIP page today. If you're in Australia and you're not part of my VIP group, please join us. I try and post a few things in there. I put when we have specials and things like that. That all turns up in there. And I'm going to put up the address of that. This is my Facebook group for Australian customers and interested parties. It's Linda Dolke's private stamp and VIP group. It's up there on the banner. If you go on Facebook and search that name, that specific name, you will find us, and then you can request to join. There's a couple of membership questions to answer, and that's the main one is, are you in Australia? Because that's the one that I'm most interested in, because I need to know that people are in Australia. So I'm talking about Australian prices, and I'm offering you things that only apply to my customers here. So I'm sorry for those of you who are elsewhere and would love to join. That's not possible right now, but you can get my newsletter if that's any consolation. All right. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that off the screen and go back to comments. You saw the case. I know. Okay, so this is the card. All right, I made this yesterday. And yes, there's a lot of work in this. It's like, it's not going to be for everyone. Okay, so let me show you. It's a new set, and it's a bundle called On Display. Okay, so this is in the new packaging. You can see the size of the packaging. It's compared to a card and compared to my hands. It's quite a lot longer than what we had before. This is the stamp set. There are 26 stamps in here, and you'll see it's like this set has my name written all over it, right? We have a cat. We have stripes for the cat. We have birds. We have a cage. We have plants. We have books. And lots of other fun little things. Okay, so there's some nice greetings in here as well. You can see I used the hello and popped it in here. And actually, this is my confession time. I decided I was going to do it in copper, because this earthen tone paper that I use to cut out the vases and things, I thought the copper would go really nicely with that. When I went to use my copper embossing powder, the copper embossing powder has gone off. And I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can. Oh, I can't get it so you can see it. I need to be, but it's not very shiny. Okay, there's a little bit of shine to that, but it didn't emboss like it should have. So that's kind of a shame. I do think I might go and redo it and find some newer. I'm going to have to throw that particular copper embossing powder out. I think I said this to someone the other day on one of my lives, that that the copper, or not just copper, but embossing powder doesn't last forever. Eventually, it doesn't emboss as well. And white and clear, you probably get the the longest life out of, but some of the metallics eventually go. And so this one is an example of, I've had it for years and years and years. So I do need to buy some new stuff. Yeah, it is like the fishing tackle box. I never had that and I always wished I got it. That would really be lovely. So what I love about this, okay, this is the, like I said, the die of the stamps, and then this is the dies, okay. And as was it Margaret that said? Yes, Margaret said that it's like the fishing tackle box. We had a fishing tackle box that, you know, you could put hooks and, you know, all sorts of little fishing paraphernalia in, and I really liked it. And I never got it, but it was always a little bit sad I didn't have it. So this one, with all its books and plants and other fun things, it was for me something I really wanted to have. Now this set does not make quick and easy cards. Okay. If you like doing puzzles or you like mucking around with lots of little bits and creating a scene or creating, in this case, a beautiful bookcase with lots of different elements, this will be a fun set for you. Okay. So I just, it's just really, really cute, really, really pretty. And for me, I mean, goodness me, it even looks a bit like Crumpet, right? Don't you think? And then it has three little birdies. Afterwards, I thought I should have done just one birdie because then it would have been a nice way for me to remember Cookie. But we've got the ornate piece that goes at the top of the bookshelf, and you can turn you can turn it on the side and have it like a long. I've actually had a couple of other ideas of things I think I could do with this, so you may see this used a few different ways. I thought that might be fun. But let's look at these. So that's the top piece of the bookcase right there. Okay, there's, like you can see, I have not used hardly any of these. I've used just a fraction. There's little flags, there's a jug. This is the books. I actually cut that down so it would fit into that particular hole. And I don't know if you can see it. There's another stamp on here that, let's see if I can do this. It's called, can anyone see the stamp that's in the background? It's called Lasting Linen. You can't really see it because I did it on basic beige cardstock with basic beige ink, but I'll show it to you because I really, really like it. Okay, it's called Lasting Linen. So it's the first time I've ever had a photopolymer background stamp. And so that's taking a little bit of getting used to. You need block F for this size stamps. Okay, you can't, it wouldn't fit on anything smaller. You need our largest block, which is block F. Okay, so super, super nice. Now, what do I love about this? Anyone want to suggest what it is that I love about this particular die set, or every single die set, not just this one? Where's the card shaped die to sit on the shelf? Good point, but there are picture frames. I don't know if you noticed that. So what I'm trying to tell you is the fact that we have, for the very first time, images on the outside of the die packs. We didn't have that before. And I think that is a huge step forward because the number of times that I've gone through my die sets, you know, leafing through them and then trying to remember what's in each set. Like I'm looking for a particular size. Does that one have it? Does this one have it? And I've actually got to go looking. Now we actually know, sitting at the outside, what's going to be on them. So I think that's fantastic. I just was so impressed by that. So this card that I made is a mixture of dies and stamps. Okay, so this is stamped and then die cut. This is just die cut. Okay, I didn't stamp that. This one I did stamp and then cut it out, and then I put it in. You've got some different, so there's several different shapes of containers that you could put them in, and I chose that one. I loved this little container. This reminds me of a candle holder that I bought back from Thailand a few years ago. And I really, really like that. I use that earthen toned metallic paper for, I'm trying to get for that. I just thought that looked really, really nice with these colorings. So I kept it quite earthy. But that Lasting Linen is what's in the background of this card. So I've used a couple of new things. And I decided it wasn't smart for me to actually make a card with it. I mean, maybe I could make a card for it on a video, but it would be a really long video and we would just need to be chatting. Yeah, no more opening each case to see what's in them. Exactly. And in the past, I had to do that, or we all had to do that. And now you can see on the outside what's in it. So I think that's a huge step forward. One of my favorite things about the new system. And even though I have to rethink my storage, having that on the front, I think is almost worth it. Yes, the handles on the drawers. So you can see that those are actually, I don't know, where are they? Where are they? I can't see them. Oh, there they are. Can you see them? Just there. And that's one die that cuts two handles out at the same time, and then there's another handle at the top for a bigger drawer. Okay, so you've got little ones, and then you've got big ones. I only use the little ones, but if I wanted to put it on that one there, if I was making that one of the ones with the handles, but I really enjoyed making this card, even though it took me longer than usual. You don't mind long videos? Yeah. Sometime you think I don't mind them either, but anyway, I just thought that you guys might like to see that and showcase some new stuff. And yes, if you're thinking about joining, you could order this in your kit. You don't have to wait until next month to get it. If you're a demonstrator, you can get it right now because it's part of our pre-order, but you can only get one. You can't get multiples of them. They do that to keep it fair for everybody. And we can't start ordering multiples of things for customers and so forth until next month. So that's how it works. So I thought you might like to see that. How do we do? How do we go with that? Now I'm just thinking it is 8:24. Shall we do something really fast? You've just told me, or Nicole just told me she doesn't mind long videos. Yeah. Well, I didn't need it either, but do you know what? That was the first thing out of okay. When I'm ordering from a new pre-order or a new catalog, and demonstrators always get the month before to order before everybody else, generally speaking, unless it's something that they're releasing simultaneously, but usually we get a month. So when I looked at the new online exclusives for next month, I decided straight away that I loved that set just because it just had so many elements that are things that I love in my life personally. And so I thought that's something I really want for me. It wasn't on my first order though, because I had to get things, first of all, that I think that I can showcase and things that I think my customers are going to go for. And also, I've got a Zoom coming up with the new stuff at the end of November, and I need to prepare for that. And so I'm looking for what do I think my customers are going to respond to and are going to want to see. So that's my first thinking. Then my second order, once I got paid, I got my second order, and that was the first item on the second order because that one was just for me. Okay. And now you've seen it too. So we've seen a few new things. We've seen our banner punch tonight, which I think is fantastic. And we've also seen, I will show you a card I made today. I'm showing you lots of fun things. This is also with a new set. This is called Hobby Haven. Creative Haven is the name of the suite, or how I got that round the wrong way. I might have that round the wrong way. I think I've done like a little chair, and this is cut from the paper, and I've done a bit of chalkboard with the matching stamp set. So we might do some fun with some things there. What's the next Zoom based on? I don't know. And Sheila's asking the same question. Probably, I'm tossing up between a couple. I haven't designed them yet. You have your eyes closed. um, I haven't decided yet, but I am thinking that either the Brushed with Beauty, and I need to choose which bundle because I don't expect everyone to buy the whole suite, right? But the question will be, do I incorporate the paper, and do I just do the bundle? So Brush with Beauty is one of them. The other Petals of Beauty, I think, is the one with the flowers, and then the Words of Beauty is the one with obviously the words. Then we also have the Hobby Haven one. So I'm thinking I'm leaning to one of those two, either the Creative Haven, Hobby Haven one, or the Brush with Beauty one, but I haven't decided which one. The embossing folder on that card. That's part of the Brush with Beauty, and that's why I'm probably leaning towards that one. It's a new embossing folder called, it's nice, isn't it? Let me pull that out. Okay, you see it there? It's a new folder called Beautiful Patterns. Beautiful Patterns is what it's called. I hope you can see it. And I really, really like it. Really like it a lot. But you can't order it yet because if you're a customer, because you have to wait until the first Tuesday in November. This is it. There it is there. Can you see it? It's a 3D folder, but a nice simple pattern. Very nice background. Really like it a lot. So I'm just deciding whether to throw together a really quick card. Should we throw together a really quick card? What do you think? How quick? How quick? Just gonna cut. Yes, please. Another card. Everyone's saying yes, please. Of course you are. I don't even know what I'm going to use, but I'm going to use this embossing folder because I can, right? And one of my favorite perks of being a demonstrator is actually getting to order stuff first. So if anyone's interested and you're not a demonstrator right now, the deal that they're doing at the moment is spend $60 to become a demonstrator and you will get to choose a kit of products of your choice worth $235. That is just insane. Such good value. Or if you wanted something with more larger items in there, you can spend $169. This is option 2. Spend $169 and get $344 worth of product. So, I think that that's fantastic. You don't have either of those, so you'll wait till I will be able to tell you before the ordering period begins. Okay, so that is my thinking. I'm going to run this through my cut and emboss machine, and let's get that embossed. So look how nice this is. I just love it. I think it's really pretty. Don't you like that? Isn't that beautiful? So it's called Beautiful Patterns. So I guess it's well named. All right. So I'm just thinking, what will we do with this? I am casting around for ideas as we speak. I've got some paper here on my desk and I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to go, this is some Secret C. So I'm sneaking a bit of new product today, but not doing a whole new product thing. I am, for those of us in my team, this week, I'm hoping to do a product showcase with all new stuff for you guys and go through all the online exclusives together. So look out for that. I just need to work out when that's going to be. All right. And I'm thinking, let's go with, I've got some cloud cover here. It's like a marriage made in heaven, cloud cover and secret sea together. If you're looking what color in colors to get, these two are the first two that I would get. They just go so well together, and it just is a beautiful harmonious pairing of colors. All right, so we have this one here and this one here. As quick as it takes, says Dimity. What do you guys think? Do you, Lorraine, you said you don't have either of those. Do you have a favorite? Are you leaning towards one over the other? I'd be really interested to know what people think. Maybe I'll do a poll on my VIP page and ask. I can ask here as well, but sometimes it's fun to do a poll. Which set would you like to do a Zoom class with? I think probably the Brush with Beauty might win because we've got this beautiful embossing folder. And I'm deciding whether it should be the words that I use or whether I go with the, I don't know. I'm still deciding. So I've got to sit down and do some designing. That's what I've got to do. When is the Zoom class? It's usually the last week of the month, every second month. So we didn't have one. We haven't got one this month. We did have one last month. So next month, November, end of November will be the next one. So you think brush with beauty? Do you mean the petals of beauty, or do you mean the words of beauty? Which one do you like the idea of? And the other thing I get to, oh, what's that's a good idea, Nicole. All right, so we've got this here, and I'm just thinking I'm going to pull out the piece on earth, and I'm going to actually pull out the piece on earth dies as well. I'm deciding whether to go portrait or landscape. And I'm thinking maybe I'll do a bit of blending. I might go landscape. I don't know. Do we want to go landscape or do we want to go portrait? I'm thinking landscape. Landscape, says Leslie. Okay. And I'm going to add a bit of colour behind this just to give it a bit of pizzazz, bit of oomph. And the nice thing about applying blending over the top of a embossing folder is it brings out the design of the embossing just that little bit more. Now, don't forget, we're going to have some pieces in the middle covering this. So we just want this coming out a little bit at the top and the bottom. So even if it looks a bit kind of blobby in the middle, that won't matter. We just want a bit of colour. So I just want a bit of colour here and a bit of colour there. That'll be fine. All right. So we have in this gorgeous set, this beautiful glimmer paper, Secret Sea Glimmer, which is beautiful. And there's the bright blue, which is kind of a cross between Blueberry Bushel and Misty Moonlight, I think, although there's no Blueberry Bushel in the paper. But then this one here, I think it says pale green in the, but to me, that's very close to the cloud cover. So the question is, will I go with the dark or the light? I'm thinking maybe going with the light on this one. So when you want to cut a piece of this, what you want to do is you want to cut it at the halfway mark. I always cut upside down. That helps keep doesn't blunt your blade as quickly as going through this side, which is more like going through sandpaper for it. So that's just my theory and I'm sticking to it. I don't know if officially if that's right, but that's how I feel about it. All right, so I'm going to use the big one and I'm going to cut myself a piece of this Secret Sea Glimmer. Not Secret Sea, cloud cover. See, I think these colours go so well together, I get them confused. All right. And then the smaller one, I'm thinking maybe some of the Peaceful Garden paper, which is beautiful. We could use some of this because that's really nice. Actually, I think maybe I like this. There's a stripe, like a diagonal check one. This one. I think that might be nice. So let's do this one. So I'm just going to cut myself one of those. like so. And I want to stamp directly onto this, I think. I mean, I could put it on a banner underneath, but I think I might just stamp straight on. And I'm deciding, what sort of card do we want this to be? Do we want it to be a sympathy card? We could have peace, love, and joy. That will also fit across here. Heartfelt prayers. That would look nice. Heartfelt prayers would be a nice one, you know, because you could give that one, you know, as a sympathy card as well. Or, you know, that one could be just like a thinking of you kind of a thing. You're in need of a beach trip. Yes. You've been blending. Yay. I'm so excited. That makes me happy. I like to see people doing some blending because it's one of those things. Peace, love, and joy, says Leslie. Sympathy or prayers. Heartfelt prayers, says Nairi. Stella Scrappy Craft says sympathy or prayers. The colours are very peaceful. It's well named Peaceful Garden, don't you think? All right, so before we stick this on, I'm going to pick one. Maybe I'll go Heartfelt Prayers because I don't feel like I've used that very much. I mean, I have used it, but not much. So once again, I'm just popping it down and I'm going to pick it up with a block. And I'm going to stamp this in Secret Sea because that nice dark colour will look good on there. I find it easier to get things straight if I put them straight on the grid paper as well. Like that. Now, when you want to put this on here, there are only two things that stick well to glimmer paper, okay? So that would be dimensionals or glue dots. So I'm thinking I'll have dimensionals underneath here, so I might just do glue dots on top and that will work well. So let's grab some glue dots here. One on each end probably would be fine, and maybe one in the middle just for a bit of extra stability. There we go. Like so. Some dimensionals on the back. And then we get to have some fun with maybe some doves and maybe some leaves. You're in need of a scotch, no ice. You okay, Nicole? Oh, only the first week of term. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I imagine that would be very difficult. Okay, that looks pretty centered. And the little bit of blending here is subtle, but it does add something. So the question is, do we want, like, are we going to want a birdie coming over here? I mean, if I put this here, it's going to cover that bit of blending. Not that that would really matter. So we want a birdie that's like landing, or do we want a birdie that's flying around? We don't need to have both necessarily, although we could. See, that one could go, he could go there like that. What do we think? Do we like this? All right. I'm just going to quickly cut those out of some white. I've been doing a lot of cutting. I started cutting up for Craft Along today. And I had a lot more people order last month because it was a new catalogue and I did a special and all the things. So, so yeah, a lot more cutting than usual. And then next week will all be about cutting up for the retreat. And I think I'm hoping Miss Denise can come and help me next week. She's hoping to. So that'll be fun. I think I did a card a bit similar to this, but I've changed. So if you're thinking, gee, that looks familiar. Yeah, it is similar to one other one I did. It's just I've changed the colors and I've changed, a different embossing folder. And if we want to, we can give the birdies, they don't have eyes, and I know that bothers a few people, so we could we could give them eyes with just the help of a pen, like a journaling pen. Instant personality with our birdies. So we'll give this birdie little eye here, one, and this one little eye here. Yeah. And now they feel better now, see? Now I'm looking at this and thinking I possibly should have done a bit more blending to make the birds stand out more. That probably would have been a really good idea. I still could add more. One bird, only one flying. Eyes, please. Yes. When is craft along? The last Thursday in October. So is that the 30th? I think it is. Let me quickly look at my calendar here on the computer. Yes, 30th of October will be craft along. And I'm using the Traditions of Christmas papers and elements. Okay, that's a bit more. So we'll see if that makes them stand out a little bit more. So only one bird, that one there, is that the one you think we want? And then what we could do, because somebody did say one bird flying, and I'm hoping I've got that right. Little blend on the bird wings. Yeah, we could. I'm also going to grab some silver foil, and I'm going to quickly cut some more leaves with silver foil. So silver, even though this doesn't have any silver in it, silver goes really beautifully with these colours. It's quite harmonious. I haven't even decided what I want to do with this yet, but I could, cut this off a little bit and we could have some, stuff going on here. Let me cut this down a little. And let's see how that would look if I put some. And I could have a little bit in his mouth as well. So let me see. Just a little bit there. That looks kind of cute, doesn't it? And then put a dimensional to make him sit up. And then we could have some leaves coming out here, maybe. I don't know. Is that too much? Maybe it doesn't need the extra leaves. I feel like it needs something there though. But a second bird is too much. All right. Let's see. I want to have these. And I'm just going to put a glue dot. I'm just going to grab one off here. And we're going to make that go over the back there. So it keeps that in place. And then I'm going to, I find rather than sticking a dimensional behind the bird, it actually makes more sense to put a dimensional next to here, take the back off and then stick the birdie on. Do we want the second? I'm sorry, I've missed a whole bunch of comments. I'm so sorry. I was too busy getting right into my project here. Oh my gosh, really? A year, Nairi? That's crazy. That is funny, Cherie. Yeah. So should I put a second dove on? That is the question. That's crazy. Bye, Lorraine. See you soon. No, says Barbara. Oh, says Monique. Monique says no. Barbara says yes. Cherie says yes. So we're having a bit of a tussle in the comments. Or second dove, no twig. All right. I've only got a tiny bit of twig showing here, and I just feel like that maybe that's enough. So I'm going to do the same thing again with dimensionals, and I'm going to put one right next to here, and then I'm going to stick my dove on. Okay. And it will need some bling or something. So we do have, I've got some cloud cover ribbon, but I don't think I want ribbon on here. Unless I had done looped ribbon underneath. That would have been nice if I had looped some ribbon underneath this whole thing initially. But I didn't do that. So instead, we'll go with some bling. And I'm thinking maybe we have these. These are actually the cloud cover little flowers that are part of this suite. That's one option. Another option would be some silver metallic gems. Those would look nice. I've got large ones and small ones. So do we think silver gems or do we think little blue flowers? You like it with the two doves? So many opinions, you guys, but that's okay. I know I can't make everyone happy, but yeah, I think I like it with the two doves too. It does work. If they were the same type of dove, I think it wouldn't work, but because they're, okay, silver, blue, silver, blue. We're alternating, you guys. Everyone has an opinion. It might be a coin toss at this point. Maybe I should keep a some sort of random coin toss thing here on my desk. Blue flowers. Oh, there's two blues in a row. All right. I'm going with the blue flowers. Well, these are meant to go with this set, so I actually probably need to order some more. As you can see, I've used up most of them. They are very pretty, aren't they? Or maybe a little one up the top here. And another little one just off the edge. There you go. I'm going to say that one's done as well. So there we go. So what did we cover tonight? We looked at some new stuff, which was a lot of fun. And I hope you enjoyed seeing that. And then we also made a sketch from page 14 of our catalogue, which is this one here. And I'm actually really happy with how that turned out. I think it turned out nice. And then this was just the random card that suddenly appeared out of my head right at the end when we had to come up with another card. So I probably should plan out exactly what I'm doing before I do my lives. But part of the reason I don't is I actually find it's more fun for me to make up a card on the fly. And sometimes you guys have a really good suggestions about what you want me to do. And somebody will say, can you show us X, Y, Z? And if I can, I will. So, and that's always fun. That's my idea of fun, is creating that kind of, I'm really glad. Oh, thank you, Nicole. I'm glad you caught me too. Yeah. Oh, good. You like the bow one. That's good. Yeah. Look, I think spontaneous is better for this kind of thing. It certainly works for me. And I hope it works for you guys as well. So don't forget, guys, the joining special. It's so good, and time is running out. There's less than a couple of weeks left for that now. So actually, 2 weeks today is the day that that finishes. So you do still have time. But if you aren't sure and you're sitting on the fence, reach out to me and get some information. Make sure you get the information so you can take advantage of it if it's something that you need to make up your mind for yourself. Let me quickly flip that to me. So I don't want anyone jumping in without knowing, understanding what they're doing. And I want people to jump in excited and wanting to enjoy it and to be part of something amazing. So I'm just looking through the comments. I'm so glad you guys love Friday nights. That makes me happy. So over the weekend, you won't see me, but for the team, I'll see you guys Monday morning in my Monday morning live. And then Tuesday, we're back with Technique Tuesday. Are there any questions or anything anyone needs to ask me before I head off? Oh, good. I'm so glad, Donna. That's great. Tuesday on the replay. And yes, you'll see us next week. Have a lovely day ahead of you, Monique. Oh, you're very welcome. All right, you guys. Well, have a fantastic evening. And I will see you all again very soon. Bye.